Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is officially time that I introduce you to my bookshelf. Hello, my name is Kirsty and welcome to Upside Down Books. Today we're going to be doing the very long task of doing a bookshelf tour on my new bookshelf. The bookshelf's not new, but I reorganized it. If you saw my previous video from last week, or however many weeks it has been since I last posted, then you will have seen that I have recently reorganized and done up this bookshelf that is behind me, my now one and only bookshelf. If you watched the video, you will also know that these are all of my unread books and they are lovely and color coordinated, and I'm now going to take it apart as I go through and do a book tour. It's fine. So I'm not going to waste any more time with this. This is basically the only shelf that I have to show you, bar a couple of other cubes in the room, so we're just going to crack on, make our way through them all. On the top here are my ARCs, all my advanced reader copies, and the rest of the books are all the books that I own, so we will just get through and make our way through this, and you guys can have a look at what books I have on my shelf and what books I haven't read, seeing as all of these are unread. Alright, so this is my first pile of ARCs here. The Greek Escape by Karen Swan, Love and Other Consolation Prizes by Jamie Ford, A Great Southern Land by Marianne O'Connor, Esther by Jessica North, Missing in Action by Marianne Van Velzen, Give Me Your Hand by Megan Abbott, The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, The Age of Light by Whitney Scherer, Hellship by Michael Veit, The Stolen Marriage by Diane Chamberlain, My Dear I Wanted to Tell You by Louisa Young, The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord, 29 Dates by Melissa Dela Cruz, The Eyes of Tambura by Maria V. Snyder, Dear Mrs. Bird by A.J. Pierce, Watch Us Rise by Renee Watson and Ellen Hagen, Even If I Fall by Abigail Johnson, Guernsey Literary Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaffer and Annie Barrows. Moving over to this side, All Dead Queens by Astrid Schult, A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, Painted to the King by Amy Sackville, Women to the Front by Heather Sheard and Ruth Lee, Something to Tell You by Lucy Diamond, On a Beautiful Day by Lucy Diamond, A Life of Her Own by Fiona McCallum, The Glove Maker by Anne Weisgarber, The Queen of Bloody Everything by Joanna Naden, Into the World by Stephanie Parkin, The Three of Us by Kim Locke, The Sisters Song by Louise Allen, Ghosted by Rosie Walsh, Rain on Earth by A.C. Guffin, Book of a Thousand Days by Shannon Hale, The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson, The Honeyman and the Hunter by Neil Grant. Alrighty, I'm moving on to the first shelf. Mutiny on the Bounty by Peter FitzSimons, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, Hollow City by Ransom Riggs, Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux, Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, Unremembered by Jessica Brody, Pantomime by Laura Lamb, Never Faint by Alexandra Bracken, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Emperor of Nihonja by John Flanagan, The Lost Stories by John Flanagan, The Royal Ranger by John Flanagan, Spare and Found Parts by Sarah Maria Griffin, Elegy by Amanda Hocking, Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, The Wish Granter by CJ Redwine, The Rosie Effect by Graham Simpson, Buddhism for Pet Lovers by David Mickey, Nora and Kettle by Lauren Nicole Taylor, the Italian version Colpa delle Stelle of The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, Wonder by R.J. Palacio, Inside Out by Maria V. Snyder, The Sidekicks by Will Kostakis, Never Always Sometimes by R.D. Arcade, Shadow Scale by Rachel Hartman, The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Savan, The Silver Witch by Paula Braxton, Egg and Spoon by Gregory Maguire. I had no idea that this guy wrote Wicked. Oh my god. Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, The Rosie Project by Graham Simpson, Seeing Red by Frank Beddoe, Evernight by Claudia Gray, Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri, Soundless by Rochelle Mead, Half Bad by Sally Green, Shades of Milk and Honey by Mary Robinette Cowell, The Declaration by Gemma Malley, Dry by Neil Shusterman and Jared Shusterman, The Book of Whispers by Kimberly Starr, Three Dark Crowns by Ken Blake, Heartless by Marissa Meyer, A Spool of Blue Thread by Ann Tyler, The Glass Palace by Amitav Ghosh, Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, Potion Diaries by Amy Alwood, Stealing Snow by Danielle Page, The Shadow Hour by Melissa Gray, Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven, and now we're moving on to the next shelf down. Mortal Beings by Carl Lombard, This Is Where the World Ends by Amy Shang, Terrier by Tamora Pierce, The Iron Warrior by Julie Kagawa, The Last Falcon by Colleen Rutten, Whisperer of the Tide by Sarah Tulsa, Captive by Amy Carter, Magic, Flight, Psychic, Quest, and Siren by Angie Sage, Church of Marvels by Leslie Parry, Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee, The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafon, and The Beekeeper's Apprentice by L'Oreal King, Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, The House on Carnival Street by Deborah Rodriguez, The Fig Orchard by Layla Fisk, and usually Golden Sun by Pierce Brown is in here, but I'm currently reading that at the moment, Tiger's Dream by Colleen Houck, All Our Yesterdays by Kristen Terrell, Maisie Dobbs by Jacqueline Winspear, The Queen of Tearling by Erica Johansson, Landline by Rainbow Rowell, What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, The Kabul Beauty School by Deborah Rodriguez, We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves by Karen Joy Fowler, I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, Paper Towns by John Green, Froy of the Exiles by Melina Marchetta, Autobiography by Christina Lauren, Stargazer by Claudia Gray, The Shadowed Sun by N.K. Jemisin, Ruined by Amy Tintera, Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Seeker by Arwen Ellis Dayton, Earthquake by Amberlynn Pike, Cinder by Marissa Meyer, Across the Universe by Beth Revis, Wicked Like a Wildfire by Lana Popovich, The Sorceress by Michael Scott, Adventures with the Wife in Space by Neil Perryman, The Illumination by Jill Gregory and Karen Tintori, and Roma by Stephen Saylor, Symphony by Jude Morgan, The Air by Kira Cass, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Now, I have actually read both this and the previous book. They just happen to have come with me on this move, so these aren't technically unread books. The Winner's Curse by Mary Rakowski, The Tapestry by Henry H. Neff, The Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson, which has nice black edging, The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, You Had Me at Hello by Mari McFarlane, Navigating the Stars by Maria V. Snyder, The Architect of Song by A.G. Howard, Rise of the Arcane Fire by Kristen Bailey, P.S. I Love You by Cecilia Ahern, and Reunited by Colleen Houck. Okay, down to the next shelf. Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, Leviathan by Scott Westerfield, The Gospel of Loki by Joanne M. Harris, Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Skye, The Moving Finger by Agatha Christie, Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, Illusions of Fate by Kirsten White, Frostfire by Amanda Hocking, The Iron Traitor by Julie Kagawa, Slayer by Kirsten White, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, Hush Hush, Crescendo, Silence, and Finale by Becca Fitzpatrick, and Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, Akane by Lynette Noni, Linger by Maggie Stiefvater, The Alchemist by Michael Scott, These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, Awake at Dawn by Cece Hunter, Clariel by Garth Nick, Tales of the Peculiar by Ransom Riggs, Gillfeather by Glenda Lark, Touch of Power by Maria V. Snyder, Old Man's War by John Scalzi, The Square Root of Summer by Harriet Rutter Hapgood, and this one has nice pink edging with some little spots on it. Persuasion by Jane Austen, Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy, Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand, Now I Rise by Kirsten White, and The Next Together by Lauren James, Soulmates by Holly Bourne, Rebel of the Sands by Orwin Hamilton, A Jigsaw of Fire and Stars by Yabba Badeau, Prince of Shadows by Rachel Kane, Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley, State of Sorrow by Melinda Salisbury, Stormglass by Maria V. Snyder, Empress of All Seasons by Amiko Jean, Lamplighter by D.M. Cornish, Song of the Current by Sarah Tulsa, The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, The Storyteller's Daughter by Cameron Doki, The Aware by Glenda Lark, Frontlines by Michael Grant, and The Commandant's Girl by Pam Jenoff, The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks, Honor This Day by Alexander Kent, Cross of St. George by Alexander Kent, The Help by Catherine Stockett, Interment by Samira Ahmed, Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini, For the Midwife by Jennifer Worth, The Colossus Rises by Peter Larangis, Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is the same copy of one of my arcs that I got sent two of, so I have this, I've already shown you this one, I just don't know what to do with the second copy that I got given. I don't know why I got given two copies, but all the more Maria V. Snyder for me. Beautiful Chaos by Gary Russell, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, In the Heart of the Sea by Nathaniel Philbrick, Even the Darkest Stars by Heather Fawcett, First Life by Gina Showalter, The Program by Suzanne Young, Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And I do have the special jacket for this one, which has all the quotes on the inside. And now we're all the way to the bottom, so this is the final shelf. Dragon's Keep by Janet Lee Carey, This Splintered Silence by Kayla Olson, The Black Arrow by Robert Louis Stevenson, Dreamfall by Amy Plum, Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Karen Memory by Elizabeth Bear, Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, Hourglass by Claudia Gray, Sinner by Maggie Stiefvater, The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger, The Thief by Megan Weiland Turner, The Fallen Kingdom by Elizabeth May, Maybe One Day by Melissa Cantor, Tidal by Amanda Hocking, You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan, Knife by R.J. Anderson, The Eyes of a King by Catherine Banner, The Cold Is in Her Bones by Peter Nell Van Arsdale, and The Extinction Trials by S.M. Wilson, The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, The Colour of Magic by Terry Pratchett, Year of Wonder by Geraldine Brooks, The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons, The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman, The Night Manager by John le Carre, Demon Road by Derek Landy, Everland by Wendy Spinall, The Binding by Bridget Collins, The Life of Elves by Muriel Barbary, King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo, March by Geraldine Brooks, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Furyborn by Claire Legrand, Tigana by Guy Gabriel Kay, Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han, I've also read this one as well, Adventures of a Young Naturalist by David Attenborough, These Dark Wings by John Owen Theobald, Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho, Cast Not the Day by Paul Waters, Travelling to Infinity by Jane Hawking, The Elegance of the Hedgehog by Muriel Barbary, The Messenger by Marcus Zusak, The Wood by Chelsea Bobolsky, Caleb's Crossing by Geraldine Brooks, The Maid by Kimberly Cutter, Ink Death by Cornelia Funk, Sabriel by Garth Nix, The Girl in the Clockwork Collar by Katie Cross, The Girl with the Iron Touch by Katie Cross, Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi, Bloodfire Quest by Terry Brooks, Beautiful Broken Things by Sarah Barnard, Jump by Sean Williams, The Dollmaker of Krakow by R.M. Romero, The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo, The Word Ghost by Christine Pace, Off the Page by Jodie Picoult and Samantha Van Leer, The King's Diamond by Will Whitaker, The Water's Edge by Sarah Gruen, The Museum of Extraordinary Things by Alice Hoffman, and finally Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Very difficult to see on camera because it's so shiny. So this is just another little stowaway section where I have some books. Twilight and Life and Death in its special copy, and the Italian version, Harry Potter e la Pietra Filosofale, of the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone for you Americans, and also the Italian version of Harry Potter e la Camera dei Segreti, which is the Chamber of Secrets, book 2. If anyone's not aware out there, I obviously can speak Italian, which is why I have Italian versions of some books. Cities of the World by George Braun and Vance Hogenberg. The Three Doctors by Alistair Reynolds. The Stone Rose by Jacqueline Rayner. The Clockwise Man by Justin Richards. The Glamour Chase by Gary Russell. Magic Kingdom, For Sale Sold by Terry Brooks. Hickory Dickory Dock by Agatha Christie. Murder in the Mews by Agatha Christie. Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie. His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. And The Tainted by Glenda Lark. This is the very final section now. American Gods by Neil Gaiman, Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, and Another Thing by Ian Colfer. On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher, The Girl Who Saved the King of Sweden by Jonas Jonasson, and The Adamantine Palace by Stephen Dias. Okay guys, so that brings us to the end of the bookshelf tour. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of those books or if you have any recommendations or ones that you think I should read before others. But other than that, I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!